That hasn't happened very often. In fact, he's only the third pitcher in 10 years with 2 shutouts in his first 21 career starts.
A lot of cool numbers to throw at you today about Matt Harrison, and they're all cooler than an ERA of 10, which is what he had spiked to when he gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. It has been beyond smooth sailing since then. And again, what's remarkable, I think, Tag, is it's not like he's introduced a new pitch, not like he's moved to a different side of the pitching rubber or anything. He's just working quick and throwing strikes and believing that he's pretty good.
I think that's pretty much it. Working quicker, more aggressive, more focused, and much more confident. And the confidence comes with the success that he's had.
Kenny Rogers had the scoreless streak of 31 innings back in '05. Of course, he was a very established lefty at that point. To have won 12 of his first 21 big league appearances, Matt Harrison easily the fastest to 12 wins in the history of this franchise. Bouncing ball towards Kinsler, the scoop, and he got Ichiro. It was now just 3 of 17 this year against the Rangers.
Well, I think you said this last night. That's one of the keys to beating the Mariners. They haven't been a team that's been great offensively. If you keep Ichiro off the bases, you're off to a good start.
There's the Ranger defense, and Taylor Teagarden's become the personal catcher for Matt Harrison. But before we go too much further in this ballgame, talking about the defense played at that position yesterday and really all season by Jared Saltalamacchia. He saved 3, maybe 4 possible wild pitches that would have changed that game late yesterday.
Yeah, that inning that he had behind the plate was just as big as the ball that Hank hit to win the ballgame. Because if he doesn't block all those balls, maybe Hank never gets up in that situation.
Lopez gets one beyond Nelly Cruz for the first Seattle hit today. It's going to be a double. Now we'll see Matt Harrison bearing down against Mike Sweeney. As the pitcher was left up, and Lopez just kind of hacks it along to right on a day where, again, the wind is blowing a little bit. Neither team took batting practice on the field today, though the teams did a hit in the cages down in the tunnel. The veteran Mike Sweeney, who's battled through some back problems, he will send one down the right field line, and that is going to get foul. Oh, was Salty digging out those potential wild pitches late in the game yesterday, and C.J. Wilson turning that 1-6-3 double play. Just like they practiced on Field 7 all during spring training. Now that set it up for the heroics of Hank Blaylock in the bottom of inning 11. After Seattle had scored in the top of the inning. The first walk-off win for the Rangers when trailing in extra innings in 9 years. Since the long since forgotten Kelly Dransfeld had a walk-off single. Again, the Rangers had to overcome 3 different deficits last night. I think one of the more impressive wins of the year, you know. Just top to bottom what they had to do to get it.
Yeah, we've been fortunate early in the season to see a lot of games like that. The game that Michael hit the home run against Kyle Farnsworth, turn around a big game against Kansas City. There have been a number of games, but last night, being at home, being behind, coming back against this closer who's throwing 97 miles an hour, that was sweet.
That ball punch foul by Sweeney. Hank Blaylock got the beer shower after the game in the clubhouse following that frenetic celebration on the field. As T.R. Sullivan wrote today, Hank whipped his teammates into a state of dog pile ecstasy. Wave and a miss by Sweeney. The change, and down he goes.
Well, Sweeney's not an easy guy to strike out. He's not a guy that walks a lot either. But for a guy who drives the ball and has shown excellent power in his career, he's a pretty good contact hitter. And he's fooled by the pitch. He's out in front of it, pitches a little bit outside. But after establishing his fastball, Matt gets the strikeout with a good changeup.
Beltre put the Mariners ahead for the first time yesterday with a home run. Just his second of the year.
Beltre likes to swing at the first pitch, so Matt threw him a changeup rather than a first pitch fastball.
Rides the fastball in, 1-1.
I think that's a good example of something that's helped Matt during this 19-inning scoreless streak. Is he's been much more willing and able to throw into the right-hand hitters. Everything is not away. This makes that last pitch, changeup sinking down and away, that much more effective if you know that the hitter is aware of your good fastball in.
The walk totals for Harrison, his first 3 starts this year, Tag, it was 5, 4, and 2 for a total of 11. His last 3 starts, 1, 0, and 1. Three and 2 to Beltre. Now the Rangers find themselves right now at 19 and 14. They've got a game-and-a-half lead on the Angels, 3.5 on this Seattle team. The A's are in last. They're 5 back. I think a couple of good early trends off all that too. When you look at the Rangers with a winning road record, that's certainly something that has not happened a lot of late. And it's a very short sample, but so far against the West, Tag, they are 6 and 2. If you beat up on the competition head to head, chances are you're going to be okay.
Yeah, if you look throughout baseball over the years, very few teams have winning records on the road.
Got him. Matt Harrison strikes out Beltre.
That's some pitching right there. Threw him a 3-2 changeup that he ticked, and then threw that cutter in on his fist to strike him out.
The scoreless inning streak at 20 for the native of North Carolina, Matt Harrison. Today you had a scoreless streak of 22 not too long ago. And the Rangers, a team that busted it up. Kinsler, Young, Hamilton, and Blaylock, Cruz, Murphy, Davis, and Teagard, and Elvis Andrews batting ninth and impressing everybody with Rookie of the Year credentials so far. Elvis, of course, was in the big leagues at 20. This guy was in the big leagues at 18, turning 19. Felix Hernandez.
Well, he's 4-2 on the season. He started out 4-0. His last 2 starts, though, one against the Rangers, have not gone that well. In his last 2 starts, he's pitched 10 innings, given up 16 hits and 12 runs.
As good as it is to be the king, King Felix has struggled mightily against those Rangers.
Yes, he has.
Kinsler drives it but foul.
His first 5 starts found him at 4-0 with a 2.38 ERA, and he'd only given up 1 home run, and that's when he had the 22 innings scoreless streak. But in his last 2 starts against the Rangers in Seattle and at Minnesota, he's given up 4 home runs.
He was under the weather, we were told, when he faced the Rangers a little more than a week ago. The Rangers jumped on him for 10 hits in that game.
And I thought that was a case not necessarily of Hernandez having bad stuff. It was more a case of the Ranger hitters just swinging the bats really well.
Yep.
Because in that game, he didn't walk a batter, and he struck out 9 in 6 innings. He had good stuff. They just swung the bats exceptionally well.
Michael Young had a 2-run homer in that game off of Felix, and Michael steps in right now, having hit in 15 of the 16 Ranger home games this year. Well, you talk about a guy who just makes things happen. He had a chance earlier in that game last night to really make a difference. Runners at second and third, and couldn't get him home. Going to line one into left. Another base hit for Michael. Michael also had the throwing error that opened up Seattle's scoring opportunity in the top of the 11th. So, I mean, those are 2 things that a lesser man might have hung his head about. Michael, well, what he does, he just goes out there and wins the ball game. He got right on base in the bottom of the 11th. Stole second base to set up Blaylock's heroics. And you made the comment at the time that it happened, Tag. The Rangers under Ron Washington, they are hyper aggressive when it comes to things like sending a man from first, down a run in the 11th inning.
Yeah, and I think in the past, Ranger teams would be very reluctant to try that kind of a risky, aggressive base running move. With guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, the tendency is to just hang back, go station to station, and wait for someone to make a big home run.
No doubt about it, with Hamilton and Andrew Jones and Blaylock all about to come up. No one would have batted an eye if you just would have waited around for somebody to hit one out. Josh did hit one out yesterday.
You know, as well as the Rangers hit and as many home runs as they hit, home runs to win games late in a game against the other team's closer just don't happen that often. Closer's usually one of the best pitchers on the other team, and if you just wait for someone to hit the ball out of the ballpark against the closer, a lot of times you're going to be waiting for a long time. So if you can get a man in scoring position by stealing a base, so much the better. A lot of different ways you can score them then.
And Blaylock almost did hit it out, as it turned out, but the ball stayed in play, and then it became a matter of Josh Hamilton having wheels.
Yeah, it was nice to have him at first base with his speed, because a guy with a little bit below average speed, there might have been a play at the plate.
Wave and a miss on a 3-1 count, 3-2. See if Josh can keep his streak alive of hitting 2-run homers. Be all 3 games since coming off the DL if he can park one right here.
Well, he's going to have a hard time because Mark McLemore's not in the booth.
That's true. Mac's been the magic man in that regard.
Mac is around and he can step in the booth, and be a pretty good chance of Josh doing that.
Well, there's another thing that Hamilton's been doing a lot lately. That's walk. 3 of them yesterday to tie a career high. And we should point out, Tom, he hadn't drawn a single walk in 15 games until last night. He was patient enough to draw 3 of them.
Well, I don't think any hitter should go up there and look for a walk, and Josh is obviously not doing that. But the name of the game is to be aggressive and swing at strikes. And if you do that, and along the way don't swing at the pitches out of the strike zone, then you're on your way to being a really good hitter.
Well, remember what happened to Barry Bonds when he was in that groove, the 73 home run groove, tainted though that was. There were games where Barry would get maybe one good pitch in which to swing. And he just started taking walk after walk after walk instead, more than 200 of them one year.
That one year he had more intentional walks than any other hitter in baseball had total walks.
Right.
He had like 110 intentional walks.
But the rationale then was, why would you punt the ball to Devin Hester? Why would you let him beat you? Why would you pitch to Barry? And Josh has developed that same kind of reputation now. Don't let that guy beat you.
And that's fine. And the hitter has to understand if that's the goal of the pitcher, then don't play into his hand by swinging at the pitches he's trying to tempt you with that are out of the strike zone.
Blaylock, who again was a hero yesterday, this time a strikeout victim, out number 2.
Hernandez has the hard sinking fastball, and that was a very good sinking changeup. Also has a slider and a curveball. He's got all the pitches. Still only 23 years old. Got to the big leagues when he was 19. And most people look at him as one of the probably 5 or 6 best young pitchers, say under the age of 25 in baseball. The potential to be a 20-game winner, to be a Cy Young Award candidate. And as good as he is, he still had back-to-back games where he gave up 12 runs in 10 innings. It just shows you how hard it is to hold the opposition down game after game after game over 34 starts in the big leagues, and how good the pitchers are that are able to do that over the course of the season. The great ones do it a lot more often than the average ones, but I don't know that anybody does it every single start.
Nelson Cruz, a hot shot into the crowd. Well, one of the great things about daytime baseball, when the kids get to take a field trip out here, those high-pitched "Let's Go Rangers" chants that just kind of pop out of nowhere. The other thing that tends to happen, you hear a lot of squeals when somebody hits a towering fly ball.
Yeah, 250 feet. There it goes.
But if you're in 3rd grade, that looks cool, you know? Two on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. There's one of those high pop-ups. In fallow ground, gloved by Branyan. So the Rangers had 2 on, couldn't get him in. No score at the end of 1.
People All-Stars Among Us, right, Kelly?
That's right. Major League Baseball is currently taking nominations through next Friday, May 22nd, for All-Stars Among Us, which are individuals who are making an extraordinary difference in the community. So fans can go to peopleallstars.com to nominate themselves or someone they know who's a community all-star.
All right, real quick, where do they go for this?
Peopleallstars.com, and one winner from each club will be recognized prior to the All-Star game in St. Louis. So
that is great. Peopleallstars.com. Appreciate it, Kelly. One more time for Kelly. There we go. Very nice. All right, thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Jim. Ooh,
Ouch.
in on Brandon. Davis to Harrison. Stepping on the corner of the bag. The Matt Harrison experience continues to be very impressive.
Yeah, Brandon's wishing he didn't swing at this pitch. That pitch was in and just kind of ate him up. And that's a play that Chris makes really well at first base. Going to his right, fielding the ball, and then kind of throwing sideways behind him to the pitcher covering. He's very accurate with that flip throw.
Chris was a shortstop in high school for a while.
You see a little bit of that on that play.
Yeah, he's agile. He really is. I get the sense he was Mr. Everything at Longview High School.
I definitely got that sense during the caravan. We went back for the Chris Davis Day in Longview.
I don't know who else could have been a homecoming king.
That was fun to be there for that.
Has quickly become a very popular Texas Ranger. Goes by CD among his teammates and still Crush occasionally. Crush Davis. As opposed to Crash, who played all those years in the minors. Crush did not spend that much time in the minors. He stopped off long enough to have a 35-game hitting streak at Bakersfield a couple years back. Strike three to Ballantine. That is 3 strikeouts already. Matt Harrison's got it going.
Yeah, he is really using his changeup effectively. And he is really using his fastball on both sides of the plate. The velocity is consistent, and when you've got a good changeup, good movement on your fastball, and you can throw it on both sides of the plate to the hitter, you got a great chance to be successful.
That one's on the outside part of the plate, and Rob Johnson has the count square to him, 1-1.
You know, most big league hitters can comfortably handle one side of the plate. They might like the ball in, they might like the ball away, but only the great hitters can handle a pitcher who can paint both sides of the corner, inside and outside. Up and down is, can be a challenge, but I think the biggest challenge is being able to handle the pitch in and the pitch away.
Slowly hit towards Elvis Andrus. He'll scoop it up and take care of Rob Johnson. Only one base runner for Seattle so far. The scoreless inning streak for Harrison at 21. Harrison continues to sparkle in the Arlington sunshine. Matt, who again at one point this year was 0-2 with an ERA of 10, has now run off 21 scoreless innings in a row. Now the Rangers have to get to Felix Hernandez, the other 23-year-old, to talk about in this game. For Felix Hernandez, Tom, I mean, this is his 112th major league start. And you figure, well, he's got to be more than 23 if that's the case. But actually, he just turned 23.
He's been making a regular turn since he was 19.
David Murphy, 7 out of 19 lifetime against Felix Hernandez. And David's got that batting average finally up into the 200s. Remember, he started this year 0 for 22. Been a steady climb out of that hole for David.
David's been a patient hitter this year. Even when he started out 0 for, he was still getting his walks, still making the pitcher throw him a strike. He swung at the changeup and then took 2 straight down and out of the strike zone.
Murphy, Davis, and Teagarden for the Rangers here. Strike, 3 taken.
Tough pitch. Good sinker. David thought it was low. If that's a strike, it's obviously a tough strike to hit, and it was. Yep. Number 7 is right in that outside corner area of the strike zone.
Now the Rangers beat King Felix 4 times a year ago. He logged 37 innings against the Rangers last year. No one else in baseball pitched as many as 28 innings against the Rangers last year. And the Rangers had to see him for 37. Pretty much every series the Rangers played against Seattle, they drew the King.
You get 6 series, you caught him 5 times, and this year we've had 2 series, we caught him twice. One of them was a 2-game series too.
Davis, a busted bat, and the ball short hopped by Cedeno. Throws out Davis. Cedeno played last night too. Betancourt getting a couple of days off.
I think what Seattle is saying to Betancourt is, we need to see an improvement in you offensively, and by that, what he needs to do is he has to start narrowing down the strike zone a little bit. He's one of the most undisciplined hitters in the league. He's very talented, outstanding defensive player. He's still young, can drive the ball in the gaps. But when you walk that little and help the pitcher out that much, you just have to improve. And he's been in the big leagues long enough to where the Mariners are saying, look, you need to see some improvement. You can't swing at the first pitch is fine if it's near the strike zone, but those sliders a foot out of the strike zone, fastballs up around your eyes, just have to learn to take that pitch.
Oh, the 270 on base percentage is just not going to work.
No, and even if it's a little higher than that, you've just limited yourself to a 9th place hitter. No way you can hit at the top of the order.
Although, you know, the counterpoint to that, Tag, it worked for years for Ozzie Guillen. You know, I mean, Ozzie carved out an incredibly comfortable and long major league career, swinging at everything and making every play at short.
But that doesn't mean he was a good offensive player.
Right.
And that doesn't mean in today's game he would play shortstop on a pennant contending team. That's the way he played. But I think anyone that goes back and looks at his career, and I don't want to minimize his career because he was a solid player, but he was not a solid offensive player because of the fact that his on-base percentage was so low.
Teagarden checks his swing. Taylor only getting a chance to play about every 5th game, and it's a tough assignment today. You sit for all that time, then you got to go face Felix. That's a nice AB right there. Teagarden draws the second Ranger walk already.
One goal you have when you face a guy like Hernandez is make him throw a lot of pitches. The sooner you can get him to his pitch count, the better chance you have to win the game. It's just a fact that whoever comes in after him doesn't measure up to his talent. He's up to 38 pitches. Depending on this at bat to Elvis, it'd be somewhere over 40 pitches at least to get through 2 innings, and that's a good start on getting his pitch count up there.
The Rangers drew 8 walks in the game yesterday. The guy on deck, Mr. Kinsler, had 3 of them. Hamilton had 3 as well. The Rangers hadn't had a 3-walk game from anybody all year, Tag, and they had 2 guys go get 3 last night. And as we keep talking about, that is letting the game come to you. You don't have to go out and be the hero, and there's no heroic pitch to be had. I think because everybody in this Ranger lineup can hit and hit so well, I think all these guys feel comfortable passing that baton, so to speak. Down too low to Andrews, and the Rangers with that rally yesterday, a lot of it was waiting out the opposition. Our Geico quote from Elvis Andrews. To right field. Pocketed by Ichiro. The Rangers strand 1, and at the end of 2, there is no score. On Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T, switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, the pride of STEM, North Carolina, Matt Harrison. STEM is 2 miles from Shoofly, 4 miles from Hester, North Carolina. It is way out there in the country. And Matt Harrison now has kind of pitched himself into a big city spotlight as that consecutive innings scoreless streak continues to grow. Got a first pitch out there from Gutierrez.
You hear a lot of pitching coaches, a lot of managers say about a pitcher, he's got really good stuff. He has to learn to trust his stuff, which is another way of saying to be confident that his stuff is good enough to get big league hitters out. And I think Matt was in that situation. Had to believe that the way he pitched could get big league hitters out. And now that he's had this little stretch of success, I think his confidence is such that, hey, I can do this. I can get these guys out. Because he's good enough to do it on a consistent basis. There's no doubt about that.
Freezing Ronnie Cedeno. And there's nothing affected from Matt Harrison at all. I mean, this is not a guy who stares in at a hitter, who smirks after he strikes the out. I mean, this is just a kid from the country having a good time out there doing what he likes to do.
Well, you can look at Jared Washburn, 34 years old, a veteran pitcher, solid major league pitcher. Probably not a number 1 or 2 starter, but a solid 3rd or 4th starter. Guy that can give you 200 innings, win 13, 15 ball games for you. And you look at Matt, who's 10 years younger.
I was enjoying watching him take care of each of them.
I don't even have time to finish what I was talking about.
We'll get back to it. That's a 6-pitch inning that took, what, maybe a minute and a half? No score. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. Bottom 3 and kids 13 and under can sign up for the Junior Rangers Club presented by Dr. Pepper. You get 8 ticket vouchers. You get to hear from Rangers players at the Meet the Rangers series. You get a backpack and a cap. A lot of other cool stuff too. TexasRangers.com to make it happen. A lot of it excused absences apparently here at the ballpark today. Nice crowd on a Thursday afternoon.
Did you see the huge crowd they had before the game for Weather Day?
I did indeed.
They had the same day up in Seattle when we were there.
It was slightly different actual weather. It was like 42 and drizzly that day. Channel 11 here locally puts that on. They do a nice job with that. That's a fair ball. Kinsler's out.
Beltre definitely shading him to pull. He was right down the line on that ball.
A lot of daytime baseball happening today. Try to keep you current on some of the other scores. Tigers and Twins had a quick turnaround today after a 14-10 extra inning game yesterday. Joe Creedy won it with a grand slam for Minnesota. Tigers lead today 3-0 in the 6th. Cedeno behind the bag to get Michael Young. And that AL Central now, you talk about jam-packed. You've got the Tigers with 15 losses, the Royals with 16, the Twins with 17, the White Sox with 18. The National League Central is even more of a traffic jam than that. You've got 4 teams, all with 14 losses. Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and St. Louis are tied for first at 20-14. The Cubs are a half game out at 19-14. Hamilton lifting it towards left. Well, it was a 6-pitch top of the third. It is a 7-pitch bottom of the third. And we race to the fourth. There is no score. Trivia question: who's got the highest career on base percentage in this facility? We cut it off at 30 games as a minimum. He just might be in this ballpark today. Matt Harrison's allowed only 1 base runner, and this is a guy that got on. Jose Lopez doubled to right. The Mariners on a 1-6 road trip that ends today. Remember last year, Tag, they had an 0-11 road trip that forced a managerial switch. Another base hit for Lopez. The only guy to reach against Harrison has now done it twice. We'll talk more about Matt Harrison in just a moment. First, we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Look, we have here. He's back. It's John Blake of the Rangers to talk about the Texas Rangers yearbook is now out, right, John?
Well, Jim, today the brand new spanking Texas Rangers yearbook hit the presses. Everybody at the game got a free one today, and they're on sale for $5 here at the park. You can also get it through the mail, and the theme of this year's book is just kind of the young team, the farm system, the new pitching philosophies, kind of the new things. We kind of highlighted red, white, and blue here on the cover. And the other unique thing we did was we individualized all the player pages this year. They're great for autographs for the kids. Different pictures of the players and full color pictures, and we're really proud of the book. So we hope everybody not here today didn't get one. We'll go out and buy a copy, and at just $5, got to be the cheapest yearbook in the major leagues.
A great book of information and outstanding pictures. Appreciate it. Thank you, John. Let's give them to the little leaguers. There you go. All right, go, guys, have some good reading. They're off and running, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Jim.
Thanks again to the multi-talented, multifaceted John Blake.
John's becoming a media star this year.
I know.
Thanks to Jim Knox.
He's going to be pitching ShamWows pretty soon.
He's going to be that guy that hawks all the different cleaning products.
Billy Mays?
Billy Mays.
Hi, friends. John Blake here for the Rangers yearbook.
Billy Mays. Boy, he could sell you. He could sell you a lot of things you don't need.
The Ron Popeil of his era. Mike Sweeney will pop one towards center. Tell me you didn't buy some of that stuff, though.
I think I bought a cleaning product for him. One of the things that guaranteed to get the scratches out of your car.
Looked pretty good, didn't it?
Looked pretty good when he did it. Didn't work the same way when I tried it, though. Got some birthdays, Josh.
All right.
These guys are pitching so quick, I haven't had a chance to get them in. Janet Forer has a birthday today. She's the lovely wife of one of our ace cameramen, Robert. Happy birthday, Janet, from us and especially from Robert. There's Robert. Juanita Hamilton is 86 today. Happy birthday, Juanita. And Thomas Bohannon, we missed yours, Thomas. You were 99 years old yesterday. Hope you're all watching today. Happy birthday from the Rangers.
Beltre into the alley in right center. Hamilton's going to go and get it. Will the scoreless inning streak stay intact? It will for now. Good relay to make sure that Lopez stays at third. Beltre's double. Just the third hit he's had against the Rangers this year in 20 trips to the plate. And now Harrison's going to have to do some fancy stepping to keep that scoreless inning streak going.
Well, both batters, Lopez and Beltre, who have had hits this inning, hit good pitches. Sinkers, outside corner, low, and they both went the other way with it. That's just pretty nice hitting right there. I wish Lopez tried to score because there's a good chance he would have been out.
Infield hangs back. A little ground ball would be a concessionary run right now. Brandon's a guy who can strike out. But as you pointed out yesterday, Tag, what you can't do is let him get those arms extended, or he might hit one up on the hill.
No, when Brandon kept the ball in on him, he had success yesterday. The ball that he hit out of the ballpark was a fastball out over the plate. Now, not a pitch like that on the outside, but one out over the plate, well within the strike zone. Most power hitters do like to get their arms extended, and that's probably true of a lot of them.
Under the glove of Harrison. A run's going to score, but the play is made behind Harrison by Andrews. The RBI ground out ends the scoreless inning streak for Harrison. Couldn't quite take it to 23. But it's still the longest by a Ranger pitcher in 4 years.
The Rangers had Brandon played well. Hit that ball fairly hard, almost right over second base, but Elvis was there to make the play easily. Hit a little too hard for Matt to field it himself. See how close he comes. Came close. It went right by his glove. He was in position to field it. But when you let go of the ball, you're about 50 feet from home plate.
Now a fly ball to left center field, and that is trouble. That is into the alley. Ballantine with a double, and now Seattle leads by 2.
That ball wasn't hit exceptionally hard, but it was well located. Josh was playing over in right center field against Ballantine, not playing him at all straight away or to pull. Unfortunately, he did pull the ball.
Well, so now we can say both of these starters in this game today, Hernandez and Harrison, the two 23-year-olds, they each had a scoreless inning streak of 22. Harrison faced the Mariners a couple times last year and lost both of those games. It trails today, but there's plenty of baseball left. Popped by Rob Johnson in the shallow right. Kinsler makes the catch. But Seattle gets on the board, and they do it twice in the top of the 4th inning. Rangers coming up when we come back. Question, answer it for you in the bottom of the fourth. The highest career on-base percentage at this ballpark for those that have played in at least 30 games. Ken Griffey Jr. coming off the bench today. .614 career home runs for the great Ken Griffey Jr. A lot of those against the Rangers. Seattle's prodigal son has returned for a victory lap in 2009. Blaylock takes on the outside corner. There's been some good-natured back and forth between the first-year manager of the Mariners, Don Wakamatsu, and Ken Griffey Jr. Boy, Felix Hernandez has it going on today. Strikes out Blaylock. It's interesting. Wakamatsu gets to manage, I think, some very interesting personalities, Tag, from Griffey to Ichiro, and many shades of personality in between. I don't know if you saw the USA Today article today on that dynamic with the Mariners, but pretty funny to read how Griffey gets all over Ichiro and Ichiro gets all over Griffey. And Wakamatsu just kind of stands there like a referee. And it's all good-natured, of course, but I guess I get on Ichiro for the wild clothes that he wears. They said that if Ichiro really wants to get to Griffey, he calls him George. That's his given first name, is George. Nelly Cruz hits a high drive left center field. And put that under the files of another one that Nelly just gets under.
Another birthday. Erin McTighe is the daughter of our tape man, Mike McTighe. She's 11 years old today. Happy birthday, Erin. A lot of birthdays today. I guess, though, in the Metroplex at any given day, there's probably about 5,000 to 10,000 birthdays. So it's not unusual that people have a birthday.
I almost carelessly just said, when you said a lot of birthdays today, I swear I almost just said, well, it's that time of year, Tag.
Just one of those days.
Yeah. I can't imagine one more than any other has more, but unless you're a leap year baby, right? Unless you're a February 29th person. Murphy grounds out. That's 11 out of 12 set down by Felix Hernandez. And the Rangers obviously have their work cut out for him today. A one-hitter through 4. You buy your Texas Ford dealers, check out the all-new F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing, and by Corona. Be sure to grab some ice-cold Corona or Corona Light. Seattle chipped away for a couple of runs in the top of the fourth. Now the top of the fifth as Matt Harrison tries to keep that ERA with a downward pointing arrow. And it had gotten into the 4s coming in today. And as we keep talking about top to bottom, Ranger pitching suddenly is a strength and not a weakness.
The one thing Matt got away from last inning is what he's just done to Gutierrez 3 straight times, and that's come in with that little bit of a cut fastball. All 3 guys, Lopez, Beltre, Ballantine, all hit sinkers away in the 4th inning. And it's like Matt said, okay, I got to get back to what was making me successful. And that's not that you're not going to throw pitches away, but you're going to make the hitters aware of that good fastball in. Won't be quite as comfortable to reach out for the sinker away.
That ball golfed by Gutierrez fairly deep to left field, but near the track there's Murphy.
The other side of it, none of the pitches, including that one, were bad pitches. They were all down. But the Mariner hitters are big league hitters. They can put the ball in play and put a charge in it, just like all big league hitters can.
Mariners had that great start this year, but they've now lost 12 of 16. They have not yet beaten the Rangers. They're 0-4. There's what you're talking about. Yep. Busting in Cedeno. Boy, and he just took care of his bat with that one.
Most hitters are not comfortable with that pitch, and that's why. Not a strike, but it had that movement that brings the ball into the right-hand hitter. The cut movement is what a cut fastball does. It has the velocity of a fastball, but just enough to make it come in 2 or 3 inches. That little bit of movement is really tough for the hitter.
He's bringing out what looks like to be almost an albino bat right here. It's about the brightest shade of beige you're going to see on a bat. Reaching out and towards the right field line it goes. Nelson Cruz drifting, and he's got the baseball. Now the Rangers have won 3 straight, 9 of 11. You can keep on going from there. 11 out of 15, 13 out of 18. And in fact, all the way back to April the 19th at 15-7. Only the Red Sox have been better in the American League since then. And that's a little larger sample than just the last week or two. Right now, the Rangers actually, Tag, have the 3rd best record overall in the American League. Only Toronto and Boston are any better. Strike to Ichiro. Chop ball. Davis has got it, and that's the kind of hitting we've recently grown accustomed to.
3 weak at bats for Ichiro. 3 weak ground balls.
Felix Hernandez will get back on the mound for Seattle. The Rangers have yet to dent him today. Control. It's 2-0. Matt Harrison has pitched very well also, but the zeros belong predominantly to the guy on the mound currently. The guy that knows a lot about putting zeros on a scoreboard joins us right now, Steve Busby.
I used to work out in the manual part. I put a lot of zeros up there.
No, I mean like for real.
Oh.
As in no hitting teams at the big league level, Steve Busby.
Hey, I helped Buzz put a lot of zeros on the board.
Why, you were like 0 for forever against Buzz?
Yeah. No, you had to do it quick, though. I wasn't around that long.
Davis, a wave and a miss. And, well, Buzz, I mean, you know, it's an easy setup for you here. But I mean, here's a game where you got 5 hits in 5 innings total. And obviously it's all about the pitching today.
Well, a couple young pitchers really on their game, aren't they, Josh? This is fun, though. I enjoy this personally. I know I'm a little bit prejudiced.
No. But you know what, though? I mean, obviously, as Davis flies out to left, Ranger fans for years and years and years have seen that other kind of baseball, the 12-8,
yep,
the 13-9, and every once in a while the 2-0 is just a breath of fresh air.
Well, and the way Matt Harrison's gone, and I think it's pretty indicative of how the entire staff is pitching this year. Much more aggressive, working at a quicker pace, throwing a lot more strikes. And it hasn't been the lack of arms necessarily. I mean, you know, pitching obviously is a little bit thinner than it was, say, a decade ago. But certainly the Rangers have the ability to go out and keep their club in ball games, and I think you're seeing that from Millwood on down.
Teagarden takes the strike, and yeah, I know you've talked about it, Tag, and I have talked about it, but it's not like this is brand new revolutionary stuff, right? It's just everybody kind of follows the leader now.
Yeah, it's direction, and I think you have to go to Mike Maddox and you have to go to Nolan Ryan, throwing out an old school idea, if you will, of being in shape. Yeah. And number one, and number two, pitching aggressively, and that doesn't mean throwing at guys' heads. That's not what it's all about. It means going out there and using your God-given ability and what you've developed in the strike zone as much as you possibly can. And you know, you start doing that, and all of a sudden you find out, hey, maybe my stuff's a little bit better than what I thought it was.
Is part of it too, Buzz, knowing that, look at it, if I do make a mistake, if I go right at somebody and I get beat, that these guys still trust me, that they're going to let me keep going out there and trying some more of that. Yeah,
part of confidence, I think, Josh, I'm a big believer in it, is that you don't worry about what if things go wrong. You know, you feel good enough about how you're doing things and about your situation that the negative never comes into play.
Teagarden becomes the second out, and boy, Felix Hernandez just mowing him down right now.
Buzz, one thing Ranger fans I'm sure are concerned about is the health of Frankie Francisco, and you were down there today. Have a little bit of an update on Frankie.
Yeah, Tom, what I understand, Frankie played catch on flat ground today and threw an unspecified number of pitches, but he did it pain-free, and Mike Maddox was very, very happy with that. And Andy Hawkins also said, hey, you know, that's the big step right there. Now he'll throw a bullpen either tomorrow or Saturday, and his availability will be determined on how he comes out of that bullpen. But so far, very good news. Good.
Well, the unfortunate thing here is that we got like 2 minutes with you total because, again, pitching is the coin of the realm today. A 1-2-3 inning. Thank you, Buzz.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk to you after the game, right?
Sounds like it.
All right, on Rangers Live. That's a great Steve Busby. Matt Harrison being out-dueled right now, 2-0. Next is being presented by Amica Insurance. It's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. For more information, visit amicatexas.com. The pitcher's duel that a lot of you like to see. Matt Harrison and Felix Hernandez obliging today. Unfortunately for Ranger fans, it's the Mariners with the only 2 runs so far, and the guy that's really made that happen is at the plate currently, Jose Lopez.
Yeah, Mariners only have 4 hits. Unfortunately, 3 of them were bunched together in the 4th inning.
We'll check some of the other scores this inning from around baseball. A lot of daytime Thursday action. Chop ball past the mound. Elvis Andrus. For out number 1, I'm going to fire up the scores, and as I'm doing that, let's go to Emily Jones.
Well, gentlemen, as you know, Twitter is all the rage these days, and here at Fox Sports Southwest, we always have something to tweet about, and we would like for you to tweet with us. You can go to twitter.com/FS Southwest, chime in, get your thoughts, or give us your thoughts, rather, on the Rangers subject of the day. And today I'm posing this question to you and to all of our Twitter followers, and it is, who is the more valuable rookie for this Rangers ball club so far this season? Is it Elvis Andrus at shortstop or Derek Holland out of the bullpen? Please let us know what you think. And Tom, I think I got a sneak peek as to what you think of this topic today and who that might be, but you may want to share with the viewers. I know they'd want to hear.
All right, Em, thanks. And Sweeney hit by that pitch, grazed by that pitch, is on at first. I don't know about you. I mean, not that Derek Holland isn't going to have an unbelievable Ranger career, but since Elvis Andrus has been playing every day, I think I'd have to go with Elvis.
Yeah, I think Derek just hasn't had the opportunity to be the most valuable rookie yet. He's certainly done a nice job. Came in the other night in a very important part of the game and pitched well. Come into several games with the bases loaded and thrown strikes and thrown the ball exceptionally well.
Meantime, it dawns on me, the first 7 years you and I worked together, we never said the word Twitter out loud. And today, in about an hour and a half, we've probably said it 11 times.
Well, if you were saying Twitter 7 years ago, you would have looked pretty funny.
Well, I look funny anyway.
Especially if you're talking about tweeting. And
I might have said once,
I might have wondered about you if you were talking like that back then.
I give you several other reasons daily, but I might have said I'm all a Twitter about something, but that sounds like something I would say because it's kind of dorky. But just in terms of using it as a noun, no, I would not have done that. And certainly not as a verb. I haven't tweeted anybody, you know, until very recently. 2-1 the count. Good fastball right by Beltre. That'll be the slogan for this year's Rangers baseball. It's twit-tastic. Wave and a miss by Beltre. It is 2-2. Tigers still lead the Twins 5-0. That game is in the 7th.
Seems like Justin Verlander has gotten it in gear after a slow start. Struck out 12 already in that game.
Hey, strikeout here for Harrison. He got the cleanup man, Beltre, window shopping.
3 fastballs, 92, 92, 93.
5 strikeouts for Harrison now.
That was the best fastball of the day, right on the outside corner, 93 miles an hour.
Well, and again, there's that confidence you were talking about earlier, Tom. Harrison now has a strikeout pitch. His first few games this year, his strikeout totals were 2, 3, and 1. Now each of his last 2 games he has struck out 5.
He's just more consistent with everything. More consistent with his fastball. Consistent velocity, consistent location. 25 innings now. He's only walked 2 batters. 1 in 19 innings coming. No, 1 as a matter of fact. 1 in 19 innings coming into the game. He hasn't walked anybody today.
Yeah, 1 walk and 1 hit batter, and that's it. National League, the Brewers lead the Marlins today 5-3. That's in the 7th. Prince Fielder, home run number 8. Boy, the Brewers playing some great ball lately.
How about the Central Division? Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and St. Louis are all 20-14. Chicago's 19-14. Got a feeling that's going to be a race all season long.
That one caught the corner to Brandon. He's going to talk about that with John Hirschbeck, who has been doing this in the big leagues for 20 years and has always had a fairly generous strike zone. That's nothing new. Known as a pitcher's umpire. And that one was a strike, number 3.
Not only a strike, it's all the way in the rectangle.
That's a strike.
That's 93 miles an hour.
That's curtains for Brandon. Harrison now with 6 strikeouts, a season high. It stays 2-0. You buy Sonic and the jackpot worth $900 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Dickie Neisler of Saginaw. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. You know, breakfast is served all day, every day at Sonic now. There's a ground ball from Kinsler. Felix Hernandez stays in command right now. Michael Young comes up, and we go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, I know you'll recognize these guys because this is one of your favorite bands. Who the Stank? This is the lead singer, Doug Robb, on hand. Now, you guys are kind of coming to the game only because you got one of your tour stops are here in the Texas area, right?
Yeah, we've got we're playing the Wildflower Festival in Richardson tomorrow.
And you try to see a park just about everywhere you go. Where have you been the last month?
Well, we're from LA, so we started off with a nice Dodger game, but since we've left, it's been, the Twins, Indians, and Astros, and the Rangers today.
All right, what do you think so far this ballpark?
Even before you came here, I was telling the rest of the guys here that I'm highly impressed, man. This is a very impressive ballpark, one of the best I've seen, and I've been to about half of them so far.
And you became a big baseball fan because your dad took you when you were young?
Right. I was raised in the 80s Dodger era, so Garvey, Say, Lopes, Yeager.
All right, good things are happening. We got Michael Young on first base. Good luck to you guys, and we'll see you down the road. Appreciate it, Doug. Thank you. Josh?
Tell the guys in Hoobastank if they want some free Sonic stuff to come in our booth. We would love to hang with them. Thanks, Jim. Michael Young, by the way, just like the guys from Hoobastank, big-time Dodger fan growing up. All the guys that Doug was just talking about, those were Michael's guys, too. Michael was about 8 games a year, he says, at Dodger Stadium. Ball gets away. Michael Young. Yeah, go ahead, right? Take second base. That ball got in the camera well, so the Rangers get a little donation from Felix Hernandez.
I think the thing that has improved Hernandez's performance against the Rangers today is he appears to dial things down a little bit. He's not trying to overthrow. He's not trying to get the Rangers out with his velocity. It looks like he's using his two-seam fastball. He's keeping the ball down, 90, 91 miles an hour, 92, occasionally a little higher, but with good movement. He's getting some ground balls, mixing in some change-ups, and he's really pitching today. Take a little off at 86 miles an hour. The game against the Rangers in Seattle, it was like everything was as hard as he could. Got a breaking ball up to Chris Young. Got a fastball out over the plate to Michael. But he's pitching a lot better today, which is not a shock considering the talent that he has.
By the way, Tag, a quick shout out. Want to thank the folks at Sonic.
Definitely.
As they brought to the booth the croissant breakfast sandwich. Got a sausage, got a bacon, and I'm told everybody in the truck today was able to sample some Sonic fare. Rave reviews. Even the guys in the Seattle truck.
Croissant sandwich?
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
I didn't come up with it, but half price drinks and slushes, folks. From 2 to 4 every day. Sonic happy hour. Inside to Hamilton.
Kind of evenly split in the truck between the sausage and the bacon. Just a matter of what you like best, I guess.
Different meat-related strokes for different meat-related folks, I guess. Or something like that, yeah. You might want to do that one over. That one is outside to Hamilton. Three and 2 to Hamilton.
Seems like we've seen this situation before. Man on second, Hamilton walks, Blaylock comes up next.
Yes.
When was that? Was that like last night in the game?
Very interesting. Well, let's see if Hamilton repeats his performance. Gives Blaylock that chance again. No. Strike 3. And Hamilton turns around. He's got a beef with John Hirschbeck now. Ron Washington out to protect his hitter. Will lead Hamilton away.
I think he's saying, did I swing at it or was it a strike? Definitely not a strike. I couldn't tell if he swung. Let's see. That's close. I think it was called on the check swing, not the pitch.
Blaylock a strikeout victim twice. He was 1 of 7 in this series, but the one hit was the game winner last night.
Rangers have only had a couple of men in scoring position, and it's been Michael both times. Hamilton walked in the first. He's the only other base runner other than the 2 base hits that Michael's had.
The 2-0 from King Felix graves that outside corner. Michael Young reached. In fact, during the Hoobastank at bat, Michael Young, Dodger fan, got on base. And I'm playing in the crowd here, Tag. Hoobastank's in the booth. Jim Knox delivered. So that's huge.
That's right up your alley.
Love that.
Jim Knox always delivers. He's the man.
Might be the best inning ever if the Rangers actually get a little comeback working. We got free Sonic this inning. Knox brings Hoobastank in the booth.
Well, Hernandez in his last 2 starts had pitched 10 innings, given up 16 hits and 12 runs. But I would venture a guess that he didn't pitch in his last 2 starts. In fact, I know he didn't in one of them because it was against the Rangers, like he's pitching today. He's had outstanding stuff, an assortment of it.
Yeah, he sure has. He celebrated that one too a little bit. It's a 2-hit shutout for King Felix right now. The Rangers will send Matt Harrison back out there as we go to the back third of the ball game next. Any regular or Diet Dr. Pepper can to the Rangers ticket office for half-price tickets to Ranger home games in May. Some restrictions apply. That's sponsored by Mix 1029. For more information, you just call 972 Rangers. Matt Harrison continues to pitch exceptionally well. Problem is Felix Hernandez has been every bit as good today. Fly ball heading to right field. There's Ballantine becoming the first out in the top of the 7th inning. Well, for Matt Harrison, again, a guy that was probably a little bit worried about losing his spot in the rotation not too long ago. The fact that we're talking about him having given up, what, 1 run now over his last 25, almost 26 innings. He is, or 2 runs now. He's a keeper in this rotation for the Rangers.
Well, he's throwing the ball just about as well today as he did against the White Sox. I mean, there's a fine line between a shutout and giving up 4 hits and a couple of runs. A lot of it has to do when they get the hits. And they got 3 of these hits in the 4th inning. But his fastball has been excellent today. His command of it's been really good. Hasn't walked a batter. And so when you look at this game, it's right consistent with what he's done in his last 3 starts before this game. Giving up a couple of runs, but the stuff and the way he's pitching is equally as good.
We don't even talk about things like pitch counts anymore. You know, I mean, here's Harrison, and, you know, if you want to go ahead and run it out there, it's 85 pitches now, but because there's no laboring out there, it doesn't seem like an intensive, sweat-inducing kind of a game for Harrison. You don't even really notice.
Well, we're talking about having the pitchers go deeper into the game. He went as deep as you can go in his last start, 9 innings. You got a great chance to go 7, 8, maybe 9 innings today.
And it's a nice problem to have, but suddenly the Ranger bullpen just isn't getting a lot of work. They become a bunch of Maytag repairmen out there. That's the pitch you're talking about, right? Keep him honest by just gunning it inside.
Yeah, I think to be successful, you have to be able to pitch in.
He ties up Gutierrez, who pops it way up there for Andrews. The 7th inning stretch is upon us. Only 2 runs in this game. The Rangers need to start hacking away at Felix Hernandez. We'll see if they can do it when we come back in 2 minutes. all year. Check your forward leaderboard, a .313 batting average for the Rangers until today. Felix Hernandez has kept him down to 2 for 20. Just a couple of singles by Michael Young. That's it.
The other thing that's happened in the game, through 2 innings, Hernandez had thrown over 40 pitches. And the hope was that he would continue to labor, throw a lot of pitches, and be gone after 6 innings. Unfortunately, he has really settled down. His pitch count is down, and he's still in there.
There's a third hit for the Rangers. It's of the infield variety. It is Nelson Cruz, and maybe that will kickstart the Ranger offense. There have been 2 Michael Young singles. Now the infield hit off the hand of Felix Hernandez to open the 7th.
Well, like a lot of pitchers, Hernandez falls off the mound to his glove side. And the ball's right back up the middle, but he's not in position to field it with his glove, so he tries to field it with his bare hand. He's off balance. It kicks off his hand, and it's a base hit. Not a hard hit ball, but tough to field. And there's the pitch count. 43 through the first 2 innings. 41 through the next 4 innings. In fact, 44 into the 7th inning. After 43 through the first 2 innings. That's getting your pitch count under control.
Murphy lofting one down that left field line. And despite the Spider-Man antics of Ballantine, that ball's in the crowd. Ballantine had a key double in that 2-run 4th inning for Seattle. And as you called it, Tag, that really was the 1 inning that Matt Harrison got away from busting guys inside. A lot of sinkers away. And the Mariners scored twice.
And it's not like he was making bad pitches. Those pitches that they hit were decent pitchers' pitches. They all looked like they were down. They all looked like they were sinking away. And sometimes you just have to give credit to the hitters. Not a question of just laying a cupcake up there for him to hit. Those were tough pitches to hit. Just had the misfortune of all happening in the 4th inning.
Well, David Murphy, with a history of success against Felix Hernandez, has steered the count to 3-1. That's the equalizer right there. I mean, Felix Hernandez, it's not that he's throwing 92 and it's a pitch you can drive. It's 92 and it sinks.
Yeah, it looks like he's thrown a lot of 2-seam fastballs in this ball game. Balls that are sinking with excellent movement on them.
Cruz on the move. And a foul by Murphy. The Rangers attempting to come back and get to 20 wins in just their 34th game of 09. That would match the 3rd best start for the Rangers ever, to be 20-14 after 34 games. In the center, there's Gutierrez. He's got it. The Angels come in tomorrow. The Rangers will be wearing the red jerseys all weekend long, taking on the Halos starting at 7:05 tomorrow night. Check out your Firestone Rangers box score here, a 2-0 lead for Seattle. Kevin Millwood against Joe Saunders tomorrow night. Excellent pitching matchup, and the same you can say for Saturday. Vicente Padilla with those back-to-back 1-hit efforts up against John Lackey, a native Texan coming off the DL. And it's Josh Hamilton bobblehead day on Saturday. And a 3:10 in the afternoon first pitch. Davis pops it out of play. The Valencia, Venezuela native. Why can't I say Venezuela? Felix Hernandez, anyway, is on the mound for Seattle.
I like the people who say Venezuela. Venezuela.
That's closer than what I had, so. Now, with Felix Hernandez, this is a guy that every time out gives Seattle a chance to be in a ball game. You mentioned, Taggy, had started the year 4-0. ERA of 2.3. Bouncing away. And Nelson Cruz down to second base.
Well, after 2 subpar starts, he's back to throwing the ball the way he was his first 5 starts when he was 4-0.
Look at that steel pitch tracker.
First time someone other than Michael Young has been in scoring position today. We'll have to sneak in a base hit right here to cut that margin to 2-1.
Davis grows the count full, and there have been so many more deep counts for Chris Davis the last week or two. To left field. That's the base hit you're looking for, but it gets out there so quickly it does not score the run. First and third, and Teagarden will swing the bat.
Nice job by Chris. It really looked in that at bat. Chris was trying to go back through the middle, stay with the ball, drive it to left center field. He does a nice job of it right there with a pretty good sinking fastball. So far this year, the most pitches Hernandez has thrown in a game is 104. He's done that twice. He's at 99 pitches now.
And Miguel Batista starting to warm up out there. Rick Adair, the pitching coach for the Mariners, on his way out. Well, Teagarden had a couple of home runs against his Seattle ball club a year ago. Still looking for his first home run of 2009. Well, we mentioned with John Hirschbeck, he will not let a possible strike go by. If it's close, it's called.
Yeah, and that pitch was a strike, but the hoof is what a nasty pitch that is for the hitter to try to hit. There's another one.
Another one.
I mean, throwing 93, 94, sinking it on the outside corner. There's just not a lot you can do with it.
Right. Point being, you might make contact if you swing at it, but you're not going to do anything with it.
Well, there they both are, right where he's trying to throw them. 2 very good pitches. Yeah, if you swing at that ball sinking in that area, unless you're really concentrating on going to right field with it, chances are you're going to hit a ground ball anyway.
Firing away at 94 miles an hour in the 7th inning, Felix Hernandez.
Well, the good news is he probably won't pitch the 8th. He's got 102 pitches, unless he throws more pitches in this game than he's thrown all season by a wide margin. He's zeroing in on his last pitch. Ooh, that was close.
Hirschbeck flinched a little.
Yeah, did you see his right shoulder?
Sure did. Oh, Hirschbeck takes a little bit of a pause from the hunt for strikes edict.
Yeah, that was pretty close. It was out of the rectangle, but it was almost touching the rectangle, so that was a close one. Good eye by Taylor.
Now he spoils a good pitch there. Nothing fancy. A lot of sinking fastballs here to Taylor Teagarden.
Well, I think what Hernandez is looking for right here is he's looking for that double play ball. First and third, one out. And he's figuring the best chance he's got to get the ground ball and a double play is to throw that sinker away.
Got him. Well, that time it wasn't the fastball. That pitch dive bombed on Taylor, and it's 2 out.
All sinkers and then the curveball. He's got a lot of pitches that he can strike you out with. That's one of them, especially the only time you see it in the at-bat.
6 strikeouts for Felix Hernandez.
That was a big one because it came with a man on third and less than 2 outs.
Elvis Andrus had a big RBI triple in the game yesterday. Rangers had to rally to win it yesterday. In fact, 3 times they rallied from down 3-0, 4-3, and 5-4. Elvis likes his home cooking. .364 batting average here in Arlington.
You're seeing a pretty good dose of breaking balls. Teagarden saw a lot of sinking fastballs, probably because of the situation, looking for the ground ball. Elvis has seen all breaking balls.
Blocked by Rob Johnson. Nelly Cruz stays at third. He started the inning with an infield hit. Moved to second on a wild pitch. Davis with a single. It is first and third, 2 out. At 109 pitches for the afternoon. His high water mark for the season. On the ground slowly near short for Cedeno. And he got him. The Rangers threatened, but they cannot crease the scorebook here. Felix Hernandez throwing the shutout. We will play the 8th. Baseball brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Yard Care Solutions start at steeldealers.com. And by Kawasaki's. Save big during Kawasaki's Green Light event. Underway here in the 8th inning, and right away Cedeno will float one out to Hamilton in center field. That'll bring up Ichiro in a 2-0 game. And as Ichiro steps in, we step away for just a moment. Say hello to John Radigan.
Josh, thank you very much. Down here at the Rangers Live set and getting ready for the Rangers Live program right afterwards. We hope that we won't be talking about the missed opportunities of the 7th inning, because if we're not, that means that that's not a big story anymore, because the Rangers have come back for a victory. I know we'll be talking about a huge weekend of baseball here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. It's going to be a great weekend. We preview that as part of Rangers Live as well, guys.
And you're wearing the right color, Johnny boy. The red jerseys will be worn all weekend by the Rangers. Well, the Angels coming to town. And yeah, Rangers Live after the game today. Ichiro lines one into right field.
That's the first base hit since Ballantyne's RBI double in the 4th inning. Matt had retired 11 out of 12. The only base runner was Sweeney, who was grazed by a pitch.
The only Mariner with 2 hits today comes up now. It's Jose Lopez. Jason Jennings getting ready in the Ranger pen. The number 2 hitters in this game, Lopez for Seattle, Michael Young for the Rangers, have accounted for 4 of the 9 hits today. It's a rare game where so far, Tag, the Rangers don't have a single extra base hit. Lopez hits a high drive to left field. David Murphy going back. Heels on the warning track. He's got it. Got an email here tagged from Ranger fan Darren. Says he has recently emigrated to the U.S. from the UK and has begun to follow the Rangers. He's bought himself a mini planned season ticket. He's been here 4 times, but so far 4 losses. He's planning on coming tomorrow. He's got a ticket. He wants to make sure that he's still allowed to come since he's 0-4.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We appreciate the fact that you're trying to learn baseball, that you like coming to the ball games, and do not take it personally.
Right.
We want to see you out here.
Appreciate the email, Darren, and welcome. Ranger fan Greg wants to know, Tag, since we've been talking about shortstops and what they're expected to do these days, would Mark Belanger be playing in the big leagues in today's game?
Absolutely.
Because of his D, and that's fine.
Tom Giordano, one of the all-time greatest scouts of all time, told me last year on the bus that he thought Mark Belanger was the best fielding shortstop he'd ever seen. So even with the lack of offense, with his superb defense, he'd be in the big leagues.
Speaking of superb defense, Nelson Cruz takes one away and helps to keep this thing Not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. For more information, visit AmikaTexas.com. The Rangers have seen the last of Felix Hernandez today, and that's probably not bad as the Rangers try to come back. Nothing against the Seattle bullpen, but boy, Felix Hernandez was tough today. The Verizon call to the bullpen goes out, and David Aardsma, who we saw yesterday, a guy that helped Rice to the College World Series title back in 2003. Top of the order he gets, starting with Kinsler.
Saw Aardsma last night for an inning and a third. Threw quite a few pitches last night. Also walked a couple of batters on the season. He's walked 11 in 15 innings. He's also struck out 17 in 15 innings. A fastball pitcher. Saw him throw virtually all fastballs last night. And his 92 or 93 mile an hour fastball looked like a 98 mile an hour fastball if you gauge by the way the batters swung at it.
Kinsler hits it in the air to right. That ball jumps to the track. Ichiro drifting to the wall, and he's got it. One up, one down in the eighth. Let's take you back to Felix Hernandez, our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Show you some strikeout locations.
And the big strikeout was that curveball. The Rangers had first and third and one out. Got the strikeout. The Rangers were unable to sneak a run in that inning. There's something other than a curveball. Other than a fastball.
Was it the curveball?
It looked like a curveball. Could have been a slider.
Michael Young had a double last night against Aardsma. Fouls it out of play. It has been Matt Harrison all the way for the Rangers. Gave them a full 9 innings last time out. It's been 8 innings so far today. And again, last year, the Rangers bullpen just pushed beyond the max. And this year, it's basically the minimum, especially here this month of May. The guys go in 7 innings, 8 innings fairly routinely.
I'm going to make an unusual call right here. The 1 and 2 call.
Okay. Hard hit, but Lopez
smoked it right at him.
Well, you got good contact off of that.
Michael really swinging the bat well since he came back from his 2-day vacation because of that little injury. He's been smoking the ball. Got his average up to 350 now. Right before that at bat.
That brings up Josh Hamilton. He's got a walk today. He's had 4 of those in the last 2 games. If the Rangers cannot rally, the Angels will be in position to get within a half a game of the Rangers. The Angels play in just a bit, taking on Boston.
Aardsma's had 3 saves for the Mariners when Morrow wasn't available. Morrow's got 6.
Hamilton, who was called out on strikes on a check swing that he disagreed with last time. He's behind here 1 and 2. And the old saw, I guess, tag about momentum in this game is only as strong as the next day's starting pitcher. I've never seen it more starkly displayed. The Rangers riding all that emotion from late last night, but they ran into Felix Hernandez today.
Yep, he was especially tough. Mentioned it several times. He was coming off 2 subpar starts, but he was superb today.
Strike 3 called. A tough day for the Ranger hitters today. 2-0 Seattle at the end of 8. Matt Harrison opens the ninth, getting a ground ball swiftly hit over to Elvis Andrews. One pitch, one out. Harrison gunning for back-to-back complete games, trailing 2-0. And folks, a reminder, the Rangers wearing the red this weekend, hosting the Angels tomorrow through Sunday. Saturday, the first 20,000 fans will get the Josh Hamilton bobblehead, courtesy of Medical Center at Arlington. First 20,000 on Saturday for a 3:10 first pitch.
That should be a pretty popular item, I would guess.
One would think.
Pretty good likeness, too.
You can even see the little tattoos
Does he
on
have
here.
A couple tattoos?
Uh-huh.
Yes, he does. Very authentic.
Big swing, but a foul here from Branyan.
Matt zeroing in on a 9-inning complete game. Next pitch will be his 100th pitch.
He has sped right through it today. This game already in the 9th inning as he fires one by Branyan. He's got a chance, a real good chance here for back-to-back complete games. You'd hate to see this one end up as a loss. That'll be up to the Rangers to rally on his behalf in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, the last 5 innings that he's pitched, he's given up a single to Ichiro, and he nicked Sweeney with an inside pitch. He's given up 5 hits. 3 of them came in the 4th inning when they bunched together their hits to score their 2 runs.
The Rangers in 3 games here against Seattle. And remember, one of them went extra innings. They have allowed only 17 hits this entire series. And it looks like Matt Harrison will go 9 again. Just barely more than 100 pitches to get 9 in the books. He pitched well enough to win. But for him to win, the Rangers need to score 3. Fox Sports Southwest brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees, and by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the all-new F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Now the Rangers, not even 24 hours ago, scored twice against Brandon Morrow when they had to face Mr. Morrow in the late going. But the rally caps in place. They get another shot at Morrow right now. The Rangers already have been shut out 2-0 at home once this year. That was the Zach Greinke special. And now Felix Hernandez and company trying to stick it to the Rangers by that same 2-0 score. It's up to Brandon Morrow.
Well, the first pitcher that Morrow will face is the one that beat him last night. That's Hank Blaylock, who hit that 97-mile-an-hour fastball around the knees, about 107 miles an hour up to right center field.
Boy, you don't get a lot of time in between round 1 and round 2. Blaylock against Morrow turned the tide last night.
Well, all closers will say the one thing you have to be a good closer is bad short-term memory. Wipe the last game out of your mind if it didn't go your way. And Morrow's not trying anything different today. He's coming back featuring his heat.
Blaylock went down to get a fastball yesterday, almost took it out of the park. Instead, it was the walk-off double.
I think the time in a game when a player is most at risk for an injury is in the post-game celebration after a walk-off hit.
About it.
I mean, the guys are so pumped up. They're so big. They're so strong. It's not just like a little pat on the back anymore.
No, they're creaming each other.
It's a macho thing.
Towering pop-up from Hank Blaylock. Well, that is way up there and into the crowd.
Take a look. Hank's about 215 pounds, jumping into Marlon Byrd, who's whatever, 230 pounds. Here comes David Murphy at 220 pounds. There's Ron Washington. He's staying on the fringe right where he should. At the very least, you risk being stepped on.
Yeah.
Having some stitches in your foot. But evidently, all Rangers avoided injury.
See 25 guys knock each other out one time.
Well, Morrow has walked 10 batters in 8 innings.
Blaylock, high drive. He beat Morrow again. This time, upper deck home run.
Last night's game, Hank was 0 for 5 before that game winner. Today, he was 0 for 3 before he turns this fastball around. Yesterday, it was a low fastball. Today, it's a high fastball inside corner.
The Rangers back to within 1, and here's Nelson Cruz. Oh, and Nelson trying to follow up, but he sends it way, way up there. Cedeno. With Beltre helping it, Cedeno, who makes the catch.
Beltre saying, hey, well, come in and catch it. I'm not going to let it drop. Beltre was a little worried Cedeno was going to let that ball drop.
Right now, as you look at the Jack-in-the-Box standings, it's the Rangers by a game and a half over the Angels, who will start a weekend series here tomorrow. Hits are even at 5. Murphy takes ball 1. And the Rangers, again against Morrow yesterday. Well, they made him throw 15 pitches. He's going to have to throw probably at least that many to navigate the 9th today. Fouled back by Murphy, just underneath our broadcast booth. Morrow, a highly regarded college pitcher out of the University of California. Number 5 overall pick 3 Junes ago.
Ooh, there's a good one to hit. Good swing at it. That was right straight down the middle of the plate. But it's going 95 miles an hour. That takes any ease of hitting a pitch right down the middle out of the equation.
Murphy tags it into right. Can he get to second base? Yes, sir. Heading there as the tying man in the 9th inning.
It wasn't a bad pitch either. Mid-90s, sinking fastball, down and in. That's a beautiful swing at a tough pitch to hit. Ichiro cuts it off, but has no chance to stop David from going to second. Oh, 1 out. Rangers will have a couple of shots.
Andrew Jones has come out on deck to hit for Teagarden. Right now it's Davis with a chance. They have been the Rally Rangers, especially against this Seattle team in a short sample this year. Trying to follow last night's 11 p.m. dog pile with the 3:15er this afternoon.
Tough to come back with a day dog pile after a night dog pile. That's the one you got to lay off of, the high fastball, unless you're Hank, turned it around. But even Hank said yesterday the one thing he wanted to do was lay off the high fastball and get one down, which he did yesterday. Today, 3 balls, 2 strikes, he hit the high fastball.
Lays off again, forcing it, Morrow, to get that ball down. And if it's in the strike zone, now Davis can fire away and be the walk-off hero. And Morrow just keeps bringing it in there at 95. We saw him at 97 a few times last night.
Third pitch was a strike, borderline strike.
Davis in the air to center field, to the track, to the wall, do it again! Walk off!